What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome back once again to Tech Tomorrow for another tech video. Now, right now, there's a whole lot of launches with CPUs, Ryzen. We've got the 1080, but in the midst of all that, there's also a brand new phone, the LG G6. Now, altogether, I don't know if I'd really consider this phone to be a total upgrade because the features themselves, you're gonna be like, that's like nothing too great, but a lot of new design implements do make this phone stand out. The very first of them is the screen, which we'll talk about. Also, we did a water test and a drop test this time, so we covered all the things in the phone. So let's check out the specs, let's check out the phone, let's check out its waterproofing and its dropping, and let's see at the end of the day, are you interested in this? I think I am. Let's go. So let's just start off right on the front. Now on the front you can see this phone sports a 5.7-inch Quad HD screen with Gorilla Glass 5. This thing's really cool because it's a resolution that's kind of in between 2K and 4K, being that it's actually 2880 by 1440 and features 564 pixels per inch for your pixel density. So you know the screen is going to be awesome. You're going to be able to check everything else on that screen because you get a lot of resolution on that. Also on the front of the G6, you guys can see at the bottom, it's the LG logo. Then we also have the top, the 5-megapixel front camera. This features a 100-degree viewing angle, it's pretty nice. And then right next to that, we see a speaker. One really nice thing though, however, about the G6 is its bezel. It's very nice, it's very smooth. And if you look at all the other models that they've been releasing, on the back they tended to crush and put everything on the back of the phone. You had your finger reader, you had your camera, you had all your buttons, everything was on the back of the phone. Well, LG's actually changed that now. The design's a little bit different. So to keep the back from being so cluttered on the G6, they've now moved the volume rockers to the left-hand side of the phone. And to me personally, I like this feature a lot better. So instead of having to sit here and mess around with the back of my phone to do anything, I can hold my phone in my hand and I can raise and lower my volume. To me, that's pretty convenient. Let me hear what you guys say down below. You'll also see on the right-hand side, there's a storage compartment with a little dot at the top. Now this dot is where you insert your tool and you open it up. And then inside then you have room for a micro SD card up to 2 terabytes, and you also have the SIM card in there as well. It's easy to remove and easy to replace. You can also see on the G6 that there are 5 different antenna bands. One located on the left-hand side, 2 on top, 1 on the right-hand side, and then another on the bottom. Now while we're on the bottom of the phone, you guys can see that the speaker's located here as well as the microphone, and you also get a Type-C connection for all of your charging. But what's really cool, even though it's made of metal, offers wireless charging. I haven't seen that in any other phone before. Usually all the phones that are made of metal, you can't wirelessly charge, but the G6, it can be wirelessly charged as well as being charged through that Type-C connection. And you guys can also see on the top there is a headphone jack, so you don't have to worry about wireless. You can plug in or be wireless. The choice is yours. And on the back of the G6 you can see the fingerprint reader, which also doubles as the on and off button. And located above the fingerprint reader are the dual 13-megapixel cameras. And in the center there's also a nice light for your flash. So that's what the G6 looks like. Aesthetically, I think it's very, very pleasing. It's also very ergonomic for operating. I really like the way that they've moved these buttons to the side for doing the volume. To me, that's a solid plus. But now, let's take a look under the hood and check out the specs. Powering the G6 is a Snapdragon 821 quad-core processor that also features an Adreno 530 GPU. There are 2 processors running at 2.35 GHz and 2 more running at 1.6 GHz. The G6 comes with 4 GB of RAM and 32 GB of internal storage, but via the micro SD card you can upgrade to 2 TB of storage, so no worries there. The G6 features a non-removable 3300 mAh battery. Now some people may balk at this and say, that's terrible. I don't know, for me it's okay because with the charging capabilities on the phone that's still going to be okay, because if you need a quick charge you can just use the wireless. Not being removable, I know some people out there can go, oh my god, that's a big deal, but no, is it really? Let me know your opinions down below. I don't know the exact length of how long the battery will last, but I'll bring that to you guys in the full review soon. The LG G6 comes pre-programmed with Android 7.0 Nougat, so for you folks who want the latest and greatest, it's already inside. Like most of the new smartphones that have hit the market, the LG G6 comes with some pretty interesting stuff when it comes to doing all your editing and all your pictures. Now we're going to cover a lot more of that in the review where we can actually touch upon everything, but you guys can see right now for doing your editing and taking your pictures, this phone's pretty cool. It's not as great as a Pixel by no means, but it's still pretty decent and you get the things that you want to do done pretty quickly. Now as far as taking photos go, the camera is very, very easy to use. And with that giant panoramic view that you get, you can take a lot of different things and mix a lot of things together to get cool photography. And if you're wondering, hey, how does that camera work in low light, Elric? Well, check it out. It works great in low light, especially if you're getting attacked by Buddy the dog. One thing that I think users are going to like though is that all the features that you get for taking photos, you get all of those same features for doing video. And as far as the video features go, you can shoot at 4K at 30 frames per second or at full 1080p at 60 frames per second. Here is something, however, that I find very weird about the G6. Now, if you look in the European and Asian market, they have a totally different audio feature than comes on the American market. Now, when LG answered this question, they pretty much said that the people over in Europe demanded higher audio than we did here in America. Now, I don't know what you guys think, but I kind of think that particular aspect is some BS. Why should we not get the same version and the same greatest version as everybody else in the world? Just like previous releases and other people's videos, I've seen that sometimes the European models have better processors, they have better parts. LG, I just gotta say to you, this is kind of crazy. Why sell two different phones around the world? Give us Americans the same quality that you're giving everybody else. It's only fair. The G6 also features IP68 water and dust protection. Now, on your daily use, I don't think you're going to be jumping into more than 1.5 meters of water, and as long as you don't do that, you're okay. So I don't think I'd actually probably go surfing or go too deep in my boat and drop it in the ocean, but like if you get it in a sink or you're taking a shower like I'm doing here, you'll see that this thing runs absolutely great, even after running water on it, even after dropping it into the sink, absolutely no damage, the phone turns on and everything works great. Now, as far as drop testing goes, in my living room, we have a nice big area that's almost pure solid concrete. It's super duper hard. And I dropped the phone many different times on this concrete floor and there was no damage to the body and absolutely none to the screen. And I think that's really cool because obviously the new Gorilla Glass 5 is not breaking many phones. Their screens break when you drop them on the ground or drop them right on their face, but you guys can see the LG G6, it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Alright tech fans, so there you have it, the LG G6 in all of its glory. And I don't know what you guys think, but just right off the bat for my first impressions, this is a pretty damn cool phone. It's going to come into market about $500, so it's also going to be pretty affordable. Most of the phones that I see hitting the market lately have been almost in the $700 and $800 range, so that in itself is a deal. The screen itself is also something to behold. 2880 by 1440 with 564 pixels per inch, that's just an incredible screen. And you guys can see the new Corning Gorilla Glass 5, it can take a beating and still keep going. Most of the time, if you drop your phone right on its face, the screen gets damaged. But this screen, it took a beating and there was no issues whatsoever. So that in itself is pretty cool. The photo stuff is all really nice, but as far as the general features go, I have to say it's really not that much of an upgrade in any way. There are other phones that are coming out that have 8 gigabytes of internal RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage, so with that aspect, it's kind of a little bit weird. LG right now is kind of in this weird ground. It still seems to me like they're trying to find their exact niche in the market. But overall, I think this is a very nice phone. It's got a little bit of new, a little bit of old, and kind of balanced. I'm Elric. Down below we'll have a link, we'll have all the specs and more information about this. Let me know, do you think this is a good phone or do you think it should be better?